Alright, well, straight to the point in this video today. I may have been wrong about the 15-tooth sprocket on this bike. So if you watched my long-term review of the Ibex, you might remember that I said, you know, I was very happy with the gearing. I had no plans to change it from the 14. I liked the way it handled on the road. I liked the way it handled on trails. And to the point where, you know, I was a little bit stubborn about it, I think. Now, a lot of people will put the 15-tooth sprocket up front to bring that down even more, but I am not going to do that. I decided, I came away from this trip very firm in that decision, and everybody kept telling me, oh, it really does improve the bike, and I was kind of digging my heels in, like, no, I like the bike the way it is, dang it. I went out for a ride the other day, and I had to ride for about 40 miles on the interstate, and you know, I was cruising along just fine at 80 miles an hour, but you know, the bike was just screaming, right? Screaming at like 7,500 RPM. And so I said, okay, I think I'm gonna try this. I think I'm gonna put in the 15-tooth just so I can prove myself right that I don't need it, and that if I put this sprocket in, it's gonna absolutely neuter the bike. It's gonna feel entirely different. It's gonna lose all of its punch, and I'm gonna swap it back. But just to like clear my conscience, I'm gonna do it. So this morning, I got up, I went into the garage, you know, I kind of begrudgingly swapped it out. I had the 15-tooth CFMoto sprocket that I ordered way back when, and I put it in, and I took it out for a ride. And I'll be damned if it does not improve the bike just about in every way. So I am man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I think I'm gonna keep it like this for a while. So this is what I can tell you about the 15-tooth if you're on the fence. Here, I've only been riding for 20 miles on it, but here's what I can tell you. It does take a little bit of the bite off the bike. You do feel it, it is perceptible, but it's subtle. So when you're shifting from like first to second, you don't get that like really aggressive grab that you might be used to, just like, yeah, there's the bike pulling. It's a little bit more tame. It just feels a little softer, but it's very slight. It's subtle. It's not a huge difference. And you notice this, every time you shift, it's just a little softer. But obviously the big change is exactly what you're seeing right now. I am going 70 miles per hour and the bike is at 6,000 RPM. So it drops almost 500 RPM in 6th gear. And it just feels so much more gentle, cruising down the highway. It just feels much more comfortable. So I think if you know in any way that you're going to be doing a large portion of pavement or tarmac on your adventure trips and not a lot of dedicated, like super aggressive riding, which I almost never do, and if I do, I usually do it on the CRF, I kind of think this is probably the way to go. I will put out one potential caveat that I have not tested yet, which I won't really be able to test until this summer when I take my long trip. The one place that I'm curious to see if this is going to affect is fully loaded on an adventure ride, weighted down, climbing some big 12,000 foot mountain pass. Am I going to have to downshift now? Because that is one of the things that I absolutely loved last summer. I would be in Colorado climbing up some massive mountain pass, and I could do it in 6th gear without having to downshift. So that was just awesome. And I'm worried now, am I still going to be able to do that, or am I actually going to have to downshift? Am I going to find myself in situations where I'm climbing and the bike starts to slow down? Because that was one of the things that absolutely aggravated me to no end on the Himalayan. And one of the things that I love so much about this bike is that it can handle climbing up steep mountain roads fully loaded without having to downshift or without slowing down. As for now, it feels great. And the other thing that I will say is, maybe it's all in my head, maybe it's psychosomatic, but I feel like it's also taken the edge off of the jerky throttle a little bit. It's taken the edge off the engine braking. Just all around, it feels smoother, more just chill, baby. It's like the motorcycle had a drink or something. It's just a little bit more chilled out. My bike has gone from an angry Boston driver to a California surfer. I'm trying to throw whatever analogy and metaphor I can here, but the point is it just feels calmer. I mean, I am going 75 miles an hour right now, and the bike is going at 6,500 RPM, which, of course, is still high, right? For riding down the highway. You know, if you're on an actual adventure tour, you'd want to be riding at like 5,000 RPM or something on a big displacement bike. But for this bike, I can now ride down the interstate and be under 7,000 RPM, which is awesome. It has always been one of the things that has been a little bit worrisome about this bike is, you know, yes, I'm well within the green, I'm within the operating range of the bike, but when you're sitting there for 4 hours just buzzing along at 7,500, it gets a little old. And like, I can tell my hands aren't buzzing right now at all. Like, everything just feels calmer, and I'm going 70. I'm going to start off in first here, and you'll see it's just tamer. It doesn't quite accelerate as aggressively. Like, see, it's a little softer just between gears, but more than enough acceleration to get me there. I think, I want to say I read somewhere, and you guys can check me on this, but I think by doing this upgrade, I want to say it drops the horsepower by something like 1.5 or 2. So it does reduce the horsepower ever so slightly, and probably the torque as well. The more I learn about my style of riding, the more I'm realizing that I like that softer, gentler feel. And, you know, don't get me wrong, it's still aggressive. It's still got some kick to it. Like, it's still got meat on its bones. It's just, it's ever so slightly softened. It's not neutered. That's my point. So I stand corrected, my friends. I stand corrected, at least for now. There's something I completely forgot to mention that I imagine some of you are wondering about, is the speedometer. Does this mess with the speedometer? And the answer is it doesn't, because the speed sensor is on the wheel. And so it doesn't matter what gearing you have, it's tracking your wheel speed. All right, so let's pop in here for just a quick second, and I can show you. Yeah, the engine braking is also a lot more subtle. Like, it just doesn't pull as hard. So see, second gear is almost too tall now. So I'm gonna go down into first and show you that first is totally manageable now. Like, it doesn't like have that super aggressive pull. Oh, it's just so much more well behaved. And maybe this is me just trying to convince myself of it, but I really feel like the bike just behaves better in every aspect. Yeah, it's lugging a little, maybe. Yeah, okay. So second gear, if you get a little bit too slow, I think there's some noticeable difference. But it's not a ton. It's pretty subtle. So I'm going to turn around, head back home, and end this video. But I hope that was useful. I admit that I was probably wrong about this, and I'm excited to kind of see how this all feels as we get some more miles under us. This is like a 1-2-3 punch. If this really does turn out to be as good as it seems, man, I will become a believer. I will sing its praises because so far, man, this feels pretty good. So I guess if I had to give you my first impression conclusion, it would just be that unless you think you're going to be doing a lot of aggressive riding, then this might be just a win all around for the characteristic and behavior of this bike. One final note that I forgot to mention is the job itself is actually quite simple. I really think anyone can do it. It's just loosening up a bunch of screws and your wheel axles, and if you know how to do a chain adjustment, I mean, that's honestly the trickiest part, is getting your chain readjusted when you're all done. So the one tool that you probably need, which I have, that made it a lot easier, is some sort of impact wrench. because getting that big nut off where the sprocket is, you know, it's on there really tight. It's on there like 120 Newton meters or something. So you really need some sort of impact driver to get that off. So, and that's it. So I'm going to sign off here. Take care, everyone. Be safe. And I'll keep you posted on how the sprocket works out. All right. Bye.